Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a quick look here at Wojak, seeing what's going on. It's important that you do watch through to the end just because there's a lot of important, relevant information. We're going to touch on support levels here, specifically in that range from, 28,000 upwards of 35,000. And then also, of course, furthermore, kind of discuss the big picture and what potential we might have on the larger timeframes too. We'll also draw out some Fibonacci retracement levels here because we do need to update those as well. Okay, so we'll touch on all that, of course, and much more. And do us a quick favor though, if you could help us grow our Twitter community. CryptoCash.tech is a site where you can register also to become a better trader. We have Twitter giveaways here for that specifically, so if you want to kind of see what that looks like, just go ahead and like, follow, retweets, and enable notifications. We'll be good to go, get you all that relevant cryptocurrency, wonderful news, fundamental technical data alike. Okay, so really cool stuff there. Thanks again so much for all your support for all of our current members that have shown us some amazing support over the last couple of months. So when it comes to Wojak, what we want to talk about first of all is we're going to draw out some Fibonacci retracement levels based on most recent highs and lows. We're going to jump into the daily here right now, as a matter of fact. We're going to look at some limited information, and I say that because we don't have enough data for full-on moving averages, etc., but we can see the relative strength index is trying to hold at 50. Okay, now I like to emphasize the word trying because it's currently below, but the candlestick hasn't closed yet today. Okay, so today's trading day does still have 6 hours and 40 minutes left. Okay, so we should be in good shape at the end of the day. Let's see what that looks like, but I would say staying above that would be extremely important. It's interesting how 50 on the RSI is concurrent with the previous resistance level, the previous all-time high. Now, obviously, that's going to be considered a support level. That's where this range is coming from here, because we got the most recent high, previous high, initial high, and then the most recent high retesting as a low. Okay, so ideally, we're going to see a bounce here because that is a previous resistance level. Very last thing to look at is I think we got the 20-day set moving average. We're trending right there at the same level, which is right there at about 32,000. Okay, so that 30,000 range is pretty important. All right, so take a look at the 4 hour. Just to quickly note, we are below the RSI here as well. We can see below 50 on the RSI, closer to 30. That's basically a bearish sign, and the longer we stay down there, the longer it'll take for us to recover. But it makes sense because we've been up above that level for so long that it's kind of new territory. So with us getting a bounce off 30 on the RSI, that would effectively reflect 50 on the RSI on the daily and give us a good chance to be able to maintain this current price point here. Okay, so this range I feel will continue to hold. It's just a matter of verifying that first. In other words, if it holds, then we're good. If it doesn't, then we have to have another conversation. But again, it should, based on that being a previous high. It's just kind of how things typically work. We do have a MACD convergence on the horizon. I'm not celebrating this at all. It's very premature. But we can see the dissipation here, basically to the downside for the bearish behavior, is lowering, right? Or increasing dissipation, essentially lowering the momentum to the downside, helping us understand that we could see a convergence in the 4 hours soon. Okay, again, we're not there yet. Don't get ahead of yourself, but this should be the tentative bottom. We can see that reflected here as well, kind of with this interesting little pattern of retesting that level. Keep in mind, the more often you retest a level, the more likely it is to break. So we're establishing lower highs and parallel lows. That is inevitable for a descending wedge type of breakdown. Okay, keep in mind, it doesn't always just bounce because of that. It could and very well should based on other support levels, but the statistical probability of it going down is higher than it is going up based on that sentiment and the fact that we keep retesting that level and keep wicking down. We've done that 3 times already at this 28,000 mark. If we do not hold 28K on this run, I think we're going to have a difficult time. Okay, so what I want to be able to see here is the price action break through this little descending trend here and inevitably close above. We need to establish a higher high and higher lows if possible, okay? Because again, for a trend reversal, higher lows is the thing you want to look for. But in this situation, when we're working ourselves into a descending wedge or a triangle, it's important to establish a higher high because that breaks the trend line. We need to break this trend line in order to have any type of luck. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. Last thing we want to kind of summarize with here is Ichimoku Cloud. There's really nothing good here, except for the fact that if you have a short position, it's telling us to close your short position or to trim that at the very least, because it's losing momentum to the downside, which we've identified on the 4 hour. So if we can maintain this price point for the next 24 hours, there's a strong chance of a leg up, especially if we go just sideways from here. But we do want to inevitably close above the cloud here, and it'll take a while. If we go sideways, it'll probably take a good 1 or 2 days to do that. Or even if we go up and over and we're still within the cloud, it's important to recognize that we still don't have that green light, so to speak, to go long. So if you're a long-term holder here of Wojak, might recommend adding to your position here between 28 and 32. That seems like a really good little area to dollar cost average, but once again, we need to confirm this is going to hold first, okay? So really just up to you in that sense. I'd be cautious and careful doing longs or shorts at this point. DCA makes the most sense for the moment. We just kind of wait for confirmation. That's really where we're at. And just to touch on that too, I trade, I've been trading for a very long time, and in my trading academy, I talk about good risk tolerance, good risk management, and things to kind of help you stay on top of things. Most people struggle with that, and I can tell you it's really helpful to kind of focus on. So if you're going to do anything, do a lot of day trading or swing trading, whatever, but make sure you're using demo trading to ensure that you're not losing your shirt. Okay, it's important to develop a good risk tolerance and treat it like it's real money, and then eventually graduate to real money. Because again, you've been throwing money at this just arbitrarily, you're doing it wrong. That's not how you do it. You don't take trades based on things that people like me and others say online. You take trades based on good TA or good fundamentals that you're doing on your own. Okay, do your own research at all times. Regardless of that fact, that's kind of where we're at here for Wojak. It's not great, but it's as expected. We should see a bounce here. It's very common for a previous resistance level to become a new support. We're just kind of in this 24-hour discovery period, and that's where we're at. One last thing to recognize too, I also need to touch on this because I talked about this on my Pepe video earlier, is the fact that we are seeing a correlation between altcoins and Bitcoin right now. More specifically, meme coins. If you can kind of see this little pattern that we're seeing, it looks very, very similar to Wojak and Pepe as well. Okay, so you can kind of see the same kind of pattern forming. A lot of them are range bound, waiting for Bitcoin to do what it needs to do. Basically remove its head from its ass, bounce off 27,000 and go, right? As soon as we have that, these altcoins or meme coins, whatever, they're all going to do a lot better, okay? And you got to recognize too that altcoin dominance is increasing. We're starting to see that kind of come up, but anytime Bitcoin sells off a little bit, we're seeing that knee-jerk reaction. Again, just back-end stuff I like to focus on. You don't need to worry about it too much, but take it from me, there's a great chance that if Bitcoin can continue higher, we'll see the same potential for this coin. If Bitcoin drops, we might also see a drop from Wojak and other alts as well. We're in that weird little phase right now where altcoins are 2 to 3x of Bitcoin to the downside. All right, good luck out there. Be careful and cautious. We'll see you in the next video. And if you can, again, like, subscribe, follow, enable notifications both here and, of course, through Twitter, just so you can stay abreast on some really awesome stuff. I look forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.